Welcome back, everyone. I am the Depressed Dior, and this is Middara Unintentional Malum Act 1. Keep saying Unintentional Malum Act 1. Is that actually what it's called? Let's find out. Page 1. Yeah, Act 1. Alright. So before we set up, let's talk about these water loas. We already read the back about them. They are type Loa. They roll only purples. So I mentioned early on about the changes for defense, where they tone down your starting defense, but in turn they reduce the combat dice of certain of all monsters. Water loas were always purple, so they couldn't actually be debuffed further. And they were already tough to begin with, but we'll go more into that in a second. They have 12 health, 9 defense, 6 movement, 0 armor. They're mundane loot. They have a casting die of white, and then a conviction of a white and a teal die. Their special ability, H2O, the water loa has arcane and elusive. So arcane and elusive are keywords. So let's talk about them. Elusive. When making a voluntary movement, in other words, you're not being pushed or pulled, a figure with elusive will never provoke a break attacks from opponents who were adjacent to them at the start of the move action or the ability that gave them free movement. If the figure with elusive is pushed or pulled or otherwise moved by an opponent's ability, they will still provoke break attacks from adjacent figures. So if you move up to attack these things, they'll usually run away from you and not provoke an attack. Now, if they end up moving through someone else's tiles as they're moving away that weren't starting adjacent, then they will provoke. Arcane. When making an attack against a figure with Arcane, the symbols rolled during the attack roll are considered non-existent. So the only symbols you will get when attacking a water loa is from if you have Courage active. There's also certain disciplines that can also give you symbols just automatically. Those will still count. This makes water loas actually, even though they have 0 armor, very difficult. They have 9 defense, which is pretty decent at this point. And all your attacks, your damage is going to be based off how much you beat their defense by. So even if you hit them, if you roll exactly their defense, you'll do 0 damage because your symbols don't do anything. The only thing that's helpful is if you have ways of modifying your damage, like for example with the sword combo, or in the case of Remy here, Hammer Helm gives flat +1 damage, so she can always at least do some damage. Obviously, the easiest way to deal with water loas is just to hit them with damage they can't avoid, such as throwing knives. But again, same situation. Usually, if you didn't have garter knives like we do right now, you would be right now considering your options. Like you would be considering whether or not you can afford to throw knives right now, because this is just chamber 1, where you don't know how many chambers of the Gauntlet there are, or if there's even more water loas in the future. So usually when I get to this point, I'm usually like, all right, I'm going to try to at least kill one or both of these without using throwing knives, and then hopefully save them. The problem is water loas hit like trucks. Not necessarily with their attack, but with their magic. Magic can't be blocked as far as armor is concerned, and I always have the worst possible luck against water loas. When they cast a spell on me, I usually roll the bare minimum on conviction and take a lot of damage in return. So yeah, this is a part where you can get wrecked pretty hard. Some people who are very obsessed with like getting the maximum amount of benefit from the mask will actually try to purposely lose this particular encounter, but I'm not going to do that because I never do that. But supposedly you can get some extra stuff from losing this encounter, but I've never done it because I'm too good for that. All right, so we got 2 water loas to start with. We start in the top. There's also a totem back here, and the victory condition. Win condition is to go to the blue exit, or the lose condition is we all get defeated. All right. Let's see what we can make happen here. So yeah, these things have a range of 6, by the way, and their magic has a range of 4. Oh yeah, I didn't even go over the rest of the stuff about the H2O. Water loas are not affected by water terrain. They may never choose to leave it. So they can just move freely in water, but they can't leave it. When water loas affect an opponent with a spell or hit an opponent with an attack, you put a water tile underneath that space that they occupy. So if you get hit by a water loa, not only will you take damage, and potentially it'll heal itself because it does that, it's going to put you in water, and then you can't dodge any future attacks until you get out of it. Speaking of symbols, books, every book will give +1 to the attack roll, not damage, the attack roll, so this improves accuracy, which in turn, of course, also improves damage because of how the system works. And then burst give a follow-up heal 2, so they can actually heal themselves. Yeah, these things are the scary things in the mask, because you just don't, like I mentioned before, the builds that you have aren't really designed to deal with this thing. All right, we're going to put Rook in front. We'll put Zeke here. We'll put Remy here. We'll flip these two, actually. We're going to do something like this. And then we'll go ahead and shuffle. All right, here it goes. All right, we all go first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the key thing we actually really want to happen is letting them come towards us. We want them to get as close as possible so we can jump into the water and get into melee. So with that in mind, we might have to just wait, because the other option is you run up, and running up is like the most dangerous thing you can do, because yeah, if only one person runs up, they're just going to double cast spells on you, and that can just kill you instantly. So I think for now, I think I'm just going to pass. I think I may just pass turn. Yeah, we might just have to pass turn. I have tried doing things like go onto this hindering tile, but that tends to cause problems too. Tell you what, I'm going to spend 1 stamina to move and go over here. And then that'll be it. This will at least give me some protection with the hindering terrain. I don't want to move into the hindering terrain because that puts me 1 tile closer to their ranged attacks. As for Zeke, I think I'm just going to pass turn with Zeke for now. And just wait. Then it's going to go to Remy. Same thing. Remy's just going to wait. And then we're going to have, and then it's going to go to the water lowers. Is there a figure with a sphere of influence with an effect? Remove a negative effect from an ally with an SOI. From SOI. Otherwise, remove a positive effect from an opponent with a sphere of influence. So they can remove debuffs from themselves and buffs from enemies. It also has the keyword here, continue down, which means even if you trigger this AI step, they will continue down and try to continue to another AI step. Is there more than one opponent adjacent? No. Is there an opponent with an SOI? Their SOI is only 4, so no. And then can it move and attack an opponent within range 6? And the answer is yes. 1, and it's going to move towards nearest, right? Yeah, nearest opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stay here. It's going to shoot at Rook and try to be as far away as possible. Rook is going to spend a stamina to dodge and get nothing. Okay, so 9, 10, 11, 12 versus 8, so it's going to be 4 damage base. I do have 3 armor, so it's going to do 1 damage. And it's going to put a water tile underneath him. So now he can't dodge. All right, the other one's going to move up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6 spaces away. It's going to shoot at Rook. Rook can't dodge because he's in water now. But didn't even need it because he has Pex. Okay, so attack misses, and then we go to Rook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm going to spend a stamina to... Well, first I'll do a mend. Get these heal tokens active. I'll spend a stamina to move. We'll get ourselves out of water. So 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that'll be the end of the round. So, oops, sorry. I tried to stand up and was sitting on my cord. All right. That is end of the round. We got him as close as we can. Now it's just going to be up to everything else. Shuffle. Okay, Nightingale and Zeke go first. Unfortunately, Remy does not. We definitely want Remy. Alright, Nightingale's going to go first. She'll get 3 stamina and spend 1 to move. 1, 2, 3, 4 with a jump. I can't fail the jump, but I'll roll it anyway. Good to go. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9. 10, 11. 12, 13. So 7, 9, 11, 13. So yeah, 4 stamina to get all the way over here through the water. I am going to go ahead and activate Ambitious to get 2 stamina, and everyone else will get 1. I will go ahead and use 2 stamina to attack. Unfortunately, the Empower is going to be useless here. But I do hit. This will be 13 versus 9, so it does 4 damage, which is not too shabby. I do have a plank if I need to, but I'm not going to use it. I am going to use a Gore Shot, though. Now, the power die for a spell does work, so here goes nothing. 6, 12, so 12 in total. Unfortunately, it resist. Okay, so that is it on that front. All right, we'll go to Zeke next. Zeke's going to spend a stamina to move. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll just go that far. And then I'm going to use both swords to go diagonal to here. One thing to note, anything that's not a move action, that's movement, is classified as free movement, and free movement is not hindered by any of the usual effects of terrain reducing your movement. All right. I'm then going to go ahead and I want to do Blade Works to attack. So rolling 2 whites versus 9 defense. Here goes nothing. 13, so another 4 damage. And then I'll spend 2 stamina to attack again. Alright, that is a miss. Honestly, the fact that I hit twice for nearly max damage, I cannot complain. I am going to go ahead and... So there's a couple of things we can do. Both of them are scary. So I think what we're going to have to do... It's the opponent with the most damage. 4. Yeah, either one of these is going to... Yeah, Nightingale's in trouble right now. I'll put it that way. I'm going to spend a stamina and do a utility core to move 2 spaces to get to here. And then that'll be it. It's going to go to Waterloo is next. So we'll start with the red one. No one with effects. No one adjacent. There is an opponent with an SOI. It's going to cast Spell Sick, prioritizing the opponent with the lowest conviction value, which is going to be Nightingale. And this will do magic damage equal to 2 plus the difference rolled. So it's going to roll this white die. Spell 6, so that's a 10. And then I roll 2 purples, and I have to meet or beat a 10. Or at the very least, roll high. I actually resisted. Oh my god. So usually I end up rolling like double 1s here, and then I end up taking like 10 damage. So that actually worked really well. And the nice thing about this, the only good thing about the spellcast is they don't move afterwards. So the other water loa, there is more than one opponent adjacent, so it's going to make an attack, a melee attack against the opponent with the most damage. It's a tie, so it's going to go after Nightingale because Nightingale is furthest up on the initiative. So it's just going to roll 2 purples and miss. Fortunately, I don't have any means to counter. I don't have enough stamina to do a counter. It takes 2 to counter. One thing to note is if you have dodged, you can actually, the counter cost is actually reduced by 1, but I'm not dodging, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so place water tokens on all adjacent spaces to the water loa. So I'm just going to put on the spots that don't have water already, for obvious reasons. And then it's going to move to the farthest space from any opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll be this way, because this ends you furthest away from everybody. Okay, that was, and no attacks opportunity because of elusive. This is probably the luckiest mast I've ever been on. No joke. All right. Don't need to worry about blue totem. Okay, goes to Remy. Yep. All right. Oh, so one thing I was looking at was the ranged attack. It does go after the lowest total armor value, but the only target that was available within the range I moved into was Rook. So shouldn't have to worry about that. Anyway, Remy goes to full stamina. She's going to spend 1 to move. So at this point, I have the garter knives. I may as well use them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So I'm going to actually spend 2 stamina to activate Avian Flight, so I can move while flying. So the way flight works, of course, is it has the obvious things where you can fly over units, you can fly over terrain. Also, you ignore break attacks unless the opponent is sorry, how do I say this? You ignore break attacks unless it was against an opponent that was starting adjacent to you when you started the flight. So if I was next to like a cave sickle right now, I would provoke as I flew away. Anyway, so I have 7 movement. It costs 2 stamina to activate this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll spend 1 more stamina to get to here. So that puts me there. All right, I do have line of sight of all my opponents. I'm going to go ahead and flip one of these throwing knives to roll a purple. I'm going to target the purple water loa. 3 damage. All right, I'll throw another one. Same target, 3 damage, kills it. This is not a swarm, so I do get a loot card. 5 gold. I think the lowest is 4 at this tier. And I'm not going to complain, because we got garter knives. Speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and flip the last one I have equipped and target the red water loa. 2 damage. I'm going to go ahead and do a re-equip action, which is I'm just going to swap these 2. And then I'm going to throw this last throwing knife for 7 damage. All right, so we rolled pretty poorly on all those throws. Was it? Yeah, we rolled below average on 3 out of 4 of them. But that's okay. That's still, getting a guaranteed kill is well worth it. So that was it for Remy. Goes to Rook. Full stamina, we'll spend 1 to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to cost an extra here. Okay, I'm going to spend 2 stamina to attack this thing, rolling 2 whites. I'm not going to empower because it doesn't help. I do hit for 1 damage. All right, new round. Okay, Remy gets to go. 3 stamina. I'm going to spend 2 of it to fly and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I now have flanking, so I do have +1 to this attack. I will make an attack with the War Axe. Alright, that is 9. I will go ahead and use Hammer Helm to reroll the 2. Alright, that's 14, 5 damage, 6 damage for, or sorry, that's 15 because I'm flanking. So that is 6, and then 7 from Hammer Helm. That is definitely a kill. Okay, Waterloa is dead. Draw new loot. 4 gold. Definitely low on the gold front, but that's okay. Like I said, guarded. I think the original price for garter knives back when it was an uncommon item was like 100-something gold. So definitely good. All right, that was it for Remy. I don't have any stamina left, so that is it for her. Goes to Rook. Rook will get 3 stamina. I'm going to spend 1 to get out of the water, and just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and just hang out here for a bit. Okay, goes to Zeke. Zeke will get 3 stamina. And refresh everything. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 diagonals. And then I'm going to do a utility core move to here. And we're good to go. We haven't triggered that yet. Then it goes to Nightingale. Nightingale's going to get 3 stamina. Refresh this. We'll spend 1 stamina to move. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to here. A little dangerous to do this, but that's okay. Just because I know what's coming. Because, yeah, there's a second page here. All right. We killed something this round. We killed something this round, so we definitely don't worry about urgency if we were. We'll go ahead and shuffle. Goes to Rook. Rook will get some stamina. I'll spend 1 to move. No, I'll just stay here. All right, Nightingale. Nightingale, I'll spend a stamina to move. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to here. It's like I almost know what's going to happen. All right, Zeke, full stamina. I'm going to use a utility core and a stamina to move 2 spaces. Oh, actually, I can decide, so I'll do the movement first. So I'll move a step and trigger the blue totem. As you peek around the corner, you see a chest. Place a blue loot token on the west side of this token, this totem. So, blue loot token. By the way, sometimes the loot tokens will be randomized, in which case they'll be face down like this, and then you have to flip them to see what they are. Anyway, unfortunately your joy is cut short as you hear clicking, chattering from the far side of the cave. Spawn 2 cave sickles on any unoccupied space on the east side of tile UM15. Okay, so first things first, we are spawning something, so we will get to roll some purples. So I'll borrow a purple die here. Again, 1 through 3 will be a regular cave sickle, otherwise it's going to be the variant. Regular cave sickle. Don't worry, there's plenty of game where we're going to end up having the variants in the future. All right, so both these cave sickles will be the regulars. This will be right after Zeke. And it says spawn them on any unoccupied space on the east side of tile UM15. This is UM15. So I'm going to spawn 1 here and the other 1 here. All right, Zeke's, I'm going to go ahead and, as part of the movement here with the utility core, I am going to go ahead and spend a stamina to move that extra step. And then I'm going to spend a stamina to activate, do an encounter action to open the chest. Inside the small box, you find 2 random consumables. In addition, stuck to the bottom is a large coin. The proctor will be interested in this. Gain 5 bonus points. Okay, so before I do the consumable, let me check one more thing. Okay, I was just verifying. Yeah, you either have to be on it or adjacent. Okay, so what was it 2 random consumables and 5 bonus points? All right, let's go ahead and add the 5 bonus points, putting us at 30 or 44. And then shuffle and take the top 2. Throwing knives and one of these things. Perfect. All right, so we'll do our free re-equip here. Do something like this. Definitely need to pass these throwing knives over to Remy so she can benefit from those. And then, yeah, we're good to go. We already got the bonus points. We're good to go on that front. Zeke's turn is still active. He hasn't moved yet, so I will spend a stamina to move and go 1, 2. I'm going to try to do a jump to here. Unfortunately, I failed, so I'm going to stop on this tile. And then I'm going to exhaust both these to go diagonal, diagonal, and then that'll be it. All right. Goes to case cycles 1 through 3. We'll start with 1. There's an opponent adjacent, which is Rook. Rook will spend 1 stamina to dodge. He's going to have 9 defense. These guys are going to roll a white and a purple. Okay, so I have 9 defense, so this does hit exactly. And then 1 shield means 1 damage. I have 3 armor, so it does 0 damage. Now, I believe this was not successfully dodged, so I'm just going to spend 2 stamina to counter. I'll exhaust a Warhammer. So there's a few things to note. Even though this attack did 0 damage, it did still hit, which means after the attack resolves, it would, or after, as the follow-up step, it would be able to attack again. But if you counter, whenever you counter, you immediately end that attack and that AI step. So attacking will stop the follow-up, which is a very important thing to know about countering in this game, because it will save you. So I'm countering. For 2 stamina, I'll exhaust the Warhammer to empower it. 9, so 1 damage base, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is 7 damage. That is a dead cave sickle. Okay, and then the other one's going to attack Nightingale. Nightingale's going to exhaust Occult Shirt and try to dodge. She is at 13 defense and only 2 purples this time. The attack misses, I get to freely counter. 12, which will be 4 damage, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage, which will kill. Alright, and that is a dead swarm, so we will go ahead and draw a combatant loot card, which we get 5 gold. Putting us at 37. Okay, that is it for that. Goes to Remy. Now, what's the rule for a re-equip? You may take items for companions. Okay, so I want Remy to actually do this. So Remy's going to go ahead and spend a stamina to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then spend a stamina to re-equip and take those throwing knives. Okay. And then that'll be it for her. And then new round would start. And I'm just going to end up having Remy fly to the exit, and that'll be it. We're not going to worry about going through the motions for this. All right. Now, one thing to know about this win condition, the reward is none. There is no refresh. So that means any damage does carry over. So one thing to know about damage is if you have more damage than half your life, you do heal to about half. I don't remember if it's rounded up or rounded down, but that right now we've only taken 1 damage, so it's not a big deal. Anything that's a circle token does carry over, so these heal tokens do carry over, which is a nice thing about Mind. You can always accumulate heal tokens all the way up to 4. So we got that going for us. I think you can, I don't remember if you can freely trade between encounters if it's not a restore or not, but we're not going to worry about that. Because we don't need to worry about it. At the start of this next encounter, we will trigger this, so I'm just going to do that now. Just so I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, this went stupidly well. The fact that I almost never, I mean, having 2 purple convictions really hurts in the early game. Like, magic is super dangerous in the early game. or actually any effects like poison, anything they have to do a conviction check for. Having 2 purples is just super dangerous. Even if you have white dice, like white dice don't really make that big of a difference at this point either. But yeah, usually you could get hurt really bad at this point. But the fact that we did near max damage on multiple attacks like this, I'm using all my luck all at once. That's what's happening right now. All right. In any case, it goes to Gauntlet Chamber 2, which doesn't actually have any story bits. It just goes straight into the next part. A sense of relief washes over you as the waist-deep water comes to an end up ahead. Your glowstones shed their light on what the proctors have prepared for you. A water lower moves nearby, and you can see the faint images of cave sickles surrounding a wooden box on the shore. On the far side of the pool, 2 dark silhouettes rise and fall slowly. A pair of Gavaden sleep beneath a lever protruding from the wall. There's a large message posted next to it, barely visible in the dim light. Don't pull. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I am the Depressed Hero. This was Middara, Unintentional Malum, Act 1. One thing to note is we don't do a restore, so the loot deck does stay the same. We're just going to click this to get this cleared off, and there's 27 cards left in it. All right, I will see you guys next time.